When Francis lived, this is often called the San Damiano cross because it spoke to Francis and Clare gazed at it for 40 years. When Francis lived, there was also the symbol that was used. It's the Greek letter T, and it's actually in the book of the prophet Ezekiel. Ezekiel was told to go and to find who were the people who were signed with the sign of the cross. They would be marked with a tau, a little t. It's a type of cross. And in the book of Revelation, it says the same thing. When all of this comes to fullness in God, those who are marked with the sign of the cross, and that's kind of like, it doesn't mean those who were saved in the way we think about it, but who are the people who understood their journey and were faithful to that. So when Francis lived, it was kind of a time of apocalyptic literature like now, 2012 is when the world's going to end and people get kind of caught up in all of that. That was kind of like a time in Francis too. But there was a huge council at the time of Francis, just like we had the Second Vatican Council that helped create this, like, we're still in it, this great kind of like overturning somehow. There was the Fourth Lateran Council. And at the end of that council, we think Francis was probably there, probably Dominic also, that the closing talk was to go forth and be champions of the tau, of the cross. Francis was very taken with that. So frequently when Francis would go places, when he had his little cave, he'd go in there and he'd mark his room by putting a tau, scratching a T tau on the side of the cave. The one document that we have that Francis actually wrote, he did not sign his name, he put a tau cross on it. And that's why it's on the cover of our prayer books. It's kind of the symbol and the sign of ongoing conversion and the Franciscan cross.